We still have 3 minutes. Feel free to run the ads. Hello,
Hi.
welcome. Hi, nice tie.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
All right, let's see. I got a quiz here. Why not? It's about that time. Welcome to Xuanzang's Tower. Um, I'm Nick. For those of you who don't know, I'm a mixed nut, and I'm going to share my quiz with you. Today, we're going to be focusing on my text, and hopefully, it's going to be fun. It's a team class. That means that's Xuanzang's Tower lingo for Geshe Michael's not here. He's on his way to he's coming here actually. He's on his way to California to come get a final part of this medical treatment to make sure that he lives a long and healthy life. And he's doing great. And these surgeries have not been very hard on him, thankfully, from what I could tell. And I'm looking forward to seeing him. And anyway, let's do our best to study together. So far, we've been doing pretty good. I definitely have fun when we work on these things together. We're not always right, and that's okay. That's why we have a Geshe to help us out. And not only a Geshe, Geshe Michael. So here we go. Uh, Apologies in advance for this quiz. It's stuff that we've covered and covered again. So I'm revisiting the same part that we've kind of been on for a few sessions, having now gone over the same part with Geshe Michael. So my last class, I was in Arizona. It was my first class in quite a while with Geshe Michael. So we went back a few sections of text and covered uh, a section where we were talking about the, you know, according to our system, wrong beliefs of the Vaisheshikas and the Samkhyas and the, dare I say, Vaishnavites. And at this point, we're talking about the Vaisheshikas or the detailers. So does anybody know? And, it's not super relevant to what we're going to cover together today because I then skipped ahead. But let's take a look. Does anybody remember or know what is the position that the detailers hold about changing things that they use as a reason to explain that they do not accept that things start or stop? They already don't accept that things start or stop, but not for the same reason that a Prasangika would like for them to accept it. A Prasangika being
Are you
us.
looking for partless particles?
You got it 100%. That's it. If I could give percentages as financial incentives, then you'd get 100 of them. They believe that things are made of atoms or particles which are unchanging by their very nature. That's right. So, and therefore, they don't accept that things start or stop. Do we like that? Do we think that that's a good reason? Do we think that that's a good belief to hold?
It's not a belief that will get you out of suffering, that's for sure.
That's a great answer to my question. It's not. According to us, I don't know. Maybe they think it is. I didn't get out of suffering yet, so I can't say for sure. I tend to subscribe to the system that believes that things are changing. But anyway, especially my suffering. How do we disprove that this is possible? That is, according to their beliefs, does the state of things change or not? Trying to give you a hint with that part.
Because they change.
How do we disprove it? That things are unchanging by their very nature.
How could a baby grow old?
Yes, good. That was part of it. And you gave both
Babies
parts
are the
actually.
best.
Yeah, it's impossible that the state of things could change because the particles that make up. So we're just saying that if you think that atoms are unchanging, then you're wrong because you're wrong if you say that the state of things, because we start talking about whether or not the state of things changes, which they kind of do accept. They accept that things can change state, but they say that even these things which change their state of existence are made of unchanging atoms. That's their thing. Everything at its fundamental level is made of unchanging parts, even though the state of those things changes. And then we say it's impossible, and I should have put all that in the question. It's impossible that the state of things could change because the particles that make them up, these unchanging atoms, cannot change. And it's also impossible that things are not changing because how could a baby become an adult? So basically,
Then why aren't your nails like 3 feet long? If nothing ever changes, if those particles don't change, how can your nails grow? Your fingernails.
yeah. How could they grow? So why aren't they non-existent? Or because how would they get to 3 feet? I don't know.
If the pieces of fingernail I had when I was born were made of partless particles that never changed, then why aren't they still at the tip of my finger?
That's a good question. Are you sure they're not?
Yeah, I've cut them many times.
Good. Yeah. I need to do that too. Yeah. Okay, right, exactly. So these questions are getting less and less useful. So when these atoms do change, these partless unchanging atoms, these unchanging atoms, when they do change, this is just the questions that we're raising for the Vaisheshikas. And this is really all we've covered lately or in the last class. When these atoms do change, does part of it change first and then the rest follows, or does the whole thing change at once? Which is it?
You're asking what their position is on the matter?
No. I'm asking which is true. Which is correct.
None.
Good. Who said that?
Changna.
Good. Who said none?
Oscar.
Oh, good, Oscar. Both, either answer you give is illogical. That was exactly what we said. Now for the more fun part of this homework. Um, it's too bad Geshe Michael's not here for this because I'm actually going through it as fast as he would like for us to go through these homeworks. Rikpadan Dempa Mimpa. Oscar.
Would you say that it's illogical?
Yes, good.
You ain't got no brains.
Illogical. Yeah. It doesn't have no logic, what you're saying. Excuse me for one moment. Yes, Emily, good morning. She just woke up and it's just me. Hold on. Come here, I got you. I got you. I got you. Too early to say hi to mixed nuts, right? You go chill. You want to chill on my lap for a few minutes? I gotta work. All right. You can go wake mama if you want. Sorry. You guys have had some time to figure this one out.
How about my joint?
Being worried about being attacked.
Yes, excellent. Amazing. Because they're afraid of something else that I didn't unhighlight. Yeah, there we go. The inconsistency they've raised. Cool. That was a cool phrase. I had never seen that before. I thought that was interesting. Because they're scared that they screwed up. They're going to say this. They're usually, I think that's when they go back on their position. So it's
Yeah,
a
I know
debate.
that feeling well.
Uh-huh.
You
Yeah.
know, when Ben corners me in a debate, like, oh.
He does that. Don't believe him. He just thinks fast. He's still wrong. Just kidding. Taco potato soup. Word.
Forever and ever.
That's part of it.
Forever and unchanging.
Changing, firm.
Firmly or permanently unchanging. Yeah.
Ooh.
All right. That's it. That's it. You don't have to deal with this homework anymore. It's over.
Taco potato soup.
Sweet freedom.
Yeah.
Forever and ever.
It's not taco potato soup. Gish. There we go. So we're gonna enjoy moving on now. At least I am, because we're just kind of going through the same section over and over. And Geshe Michael did not cover everything that we covered together in team classes yet, but let's plow on, team, and we'll see what we come up with and are either proven or disproven as we move forward. Let's see. Here we go. Ratnamala. That's the one. All right. Thank you all for doing this with me. I'm really grateful for Xuanzang's Tower, and I'm grateful for all of you who show up again and again to learn this amazing deep material and help us. Here we are. We got to a new section, and that is a denial that parts exist through any nature of their own. Where it looks like first we're going to talk denial that the parts exist through any nature of their own. Verse 70 of Master Nagarjuna's String of Jewels. I took a shot at the root text. Let's look at it. Then we'll do the commentary and see if it made sense. I think I tried this verse, was totally wrong. Worked a little bit on the commentary, may or may not be wrong about that. Came back and took another shot at the verse. And let's see what
That is the way.
Yes. And completely neglected to even check the Sanskrit because I was, as usual, kind of hurrying. And I'm in the middle of a CIM term right now.
People are asking if you could make the text bigger, Nick.
Oh yeah, you could just a little.
for sure.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Of course. Okay. Think of beginning, middle, and end. Tao u dang tama. Oh, let's read the verse. Tok ma u dang tama yang kechik shindu samparcha. Tok ma u dang tama ni rangshin lekyang mayin no. So samparja usually means like think of, like it's like a imperative or a command form of think about it. Or it could be you should think or you must think. I tried not to put too many shoulds. It's just a interesting, it's a kind of a hard way to read this kind of literature. Think of beginning, tok, tokma, middle, dang, and tama, and keichi shindu samparja. Let's say keichi shindu. Like a moment. And then this is interesting. There's a ni all the way down here. But to me, after I've worked on the commentary, it seemed to make sense to get the meaning, I think, to put the ni up here, each being a moment of its own. Tokma udang tama ni, we just covered these words, beginning, middle, and end. Rangshin lekyang ma yin. They are not my yin. They are not their own nature. So I said neither instead of saying are not. But yeah, like that. Neither beginning, middle, nor end are their own nature. And that could probably be tweaked because we don't usually say that, but I'm just trying to stick with what it says in the West Chinese there. Okay, I'm going to
What do you
another.
think, Nick, about the yang at the end of the first line?
Yeah. Kian.
Yeah, that's a great question. I neglected it at this point.
I think it's also, I was just looking at it. I think it's also,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it could be even relating to the previous verse. Oh, it gets light in here.
that's true. What is the previous verse?
I don't know. Let's go take a look. And I think, yeah, I think there's a good chance it's also and relating to now we're talking about moments, and maybe we were talking about something else. I didn't go back. Here we go. Oh no, we're still talking about moments. Just how is it that moments have an end?
Oh, just
You took kitchen.
in the same way.
Okay. Did everybody absorb that?
Kind of.
Almost. One sec.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
would you read it, Nick?
Sure. In English or
Yeah, English is fine. Yeah, just so we all sort of
okay, just how is it that
hover in it
moments?
for a moment.
But just how is it that moments have an end? In the same way as when we examine the beginning and the middle, we find the essence of the three moments isn't how we find the essence of the three moments. It isn't that the world resides in a moment.
Okay.
And we're
then
certainly
following
continuing
from
along with this idea. Yeah.
Yeah, so also about
Yeah. On the subject of beginning, middle, end. So we're gonna
it's also a case. It's also
Right.
it's kind of
I'm hesitant, I personally my preference is to see the commentary and then circle back and deal with the root verse because I don't, Kachi hopefully is going to get glossed a little bit. I don't know if we will be so lucky as to have the word kyang glossed, but
Mm.
at
Yeah,
least, yeah, we could get some clarity here that I'm hesitant to say anything without reading the commentary pretty closely. It's so
absolutely.
terse. It's such short language.
Yeah, and we'll continue that way.
Yeah.
Okay, well, someone may come along and claim. Let's read
Mm.
I'll read this line too. Tokta usum soso rangshin ki ne so shena. Now, someone may come along and claim that each of these three, beginning, end, and middle, do reside in their own respective natures.
Okay.
All right, rangshingi ne. So this is doesn't have to be their own nature. It could just be like exist by nature.
What does it
Yeah.
mean for these three to reside in their own nature, do you suppose? What is, yeah,
Based on having already worked forward a little bit,
yeah, yeah.
I think that it is saying what he's trying to disprove anyway is, well, you'll see, is that a beginning is a beginning. A beginning of a moment is truly just a beginning. That's all it is. It's
Okay.
not. And then, because what it seems like the root verse is saying here is think of beginning, middle, and end each being like its own moment, rather than, and he's going to say this in the next part of the commentary.
Mhm.
Not that it's just somehow that a beginning somehow has a nature of being a beginning purely.
Well, that's ultimately what middle way is trying to disprove in the long run, right? Is
Right.
that anything has a respect.
100%.
mean,
Exactly where Guilds of J is going.
Yeah. So if any kind of, Kachik comes along and says that anything, exists with its own respective nature, it's necessarily
Going to be
it's
disproven.
yeah.
Nick, isn't Rangshingi Ne just like Rangshingi Drup here? Just like, isn't he saying that if someone comes along and says if each of these has any nature of its own, some nature of its own?
Yeah, we could do that. And I do that most of the time. What do you call it? The pejorative use of the, where you throw in some like any or some to make it sound stupider. And maybe I will tweak this, but like just because
Oh,
it has
sure.
a store here, I wanted to throw in the respective, and I guess I could say does not reside in some, each of their own, some, any respective, any, I don't know. It's just
I'm just saying Ne pretty much means exist here. That's all.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's my thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although when translating, I don't know about you guys, maybe it helps sometimes, but I try to use a different word when they use the different word. Like if they say
Sure.
Nipa, I'll use something other than exists because I would use exist for Drupa. Unless
Sure.
that would be too confusing for the reader, which it might be.
Yeah, that's what in this case I think it kind of obfuscates it a little bit, like, but I hear what you're saying as far as composition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just try to mirror what they do as much as makes sense.
Yeah, I understand.
Now someone may come up with each of these. And maybe
Okay,
there's
here we
another
go.
word that's other than reside or exist. That could be a good less, I don't know.
Present.
Do present in their own respective natures.
Are present in their own nature.
Oh, are present in their own nature. I'm interested. Let's move on for now and just see what he's talking about, and then we'll decide how to say it.
Yay.
Let's have somebody read. Ginger. What did I? Last class I said somebody. Oh, is Lindsay here? No. Okay. Tim has a house full of guests. Tim, can you pick somebody there to read? Everybody's doing other stuff. They're like
Yeah, sure.
taking care of their
How about Gibson? We'll start off, make it easier on everyone.
Tamagotchi. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Okay. Geshe Michael Roach 日堂他妈养去钱，让先扛来讲，让星期内把给我买的，给起新度恰月没打，经常把钱拿，托马堂日堂他妈你顺起恰堂这边切肉。
Whoa. All right. Geshe Gibson over here.
Yeah.
So somebody replaced Gibson with an actual West Chinese person. So let's consider, okay, Keichi Ma Te. I'm saying that means these moments right now. Tokma
Uh-huh.
Tang Ama. Let's consider these moments: the beginning, middle, and end.
Mhm.
Here's that yang, okay?
You just stuck it in there.
It's like, yeah, he just kind of threw it in there. And again, I did not deal with it. I just took it as like a extra particle that was in there for meter, which it might be.
Might be.
I it seems like it's the beginning, middle, and end as well of that moment.
Mm. Oh, I see what you're saying. Hold on there.
But we also have a kyung coming up, and when there's two youngs, they're tying things together.
Mhm.
So what comes before the first young is tying those three things along to what
Mhm.
precedes the next young, or here kyung.
It's a lake yang. Makes it even more confusing. And this is the biggest struggle that I had with this section so far.
Mm.
So I hear what you're saying, Ben, and
Mhm.
based on what's coming, that I feel like that is the meaning, but then it doesn't quite make sense, at least the way that I'm understanding it.
Okay.
So let's see. Let's see what happens when we just finish this part right here.
Mhm.
Let's consider these moments the beginning, middle, and end. They are not staying or starting through any self nature. Let's see. Rangshin, ki nepar kiepa mai. They are not staying or starting through any
Mhm.
self nature. Rangshin.
No.
Neither. Oh, and that's what I did here. Neither their own or some other. Rang Shen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gang Lei Kyang. I kind of translated this as neither, and that's pretty weird. But let's see if I can remember why. But it totally made sense to me in the moment.
Oh,
I
it
even
makes sense. Yeah.
Neither, yeah, self or other, just because there's no conjunction or disjunction between the rang and the shin.
right.
But
So the neither nor is the Gang Lei Kyang or Gang, just the Lei Kyang. I mean,
yeah,
nor that of
I don't.
something. Go
I
ahead.
don't think you could say that the nay then for staying though, Nick. That's what I was talking about, the last paragraph, right? It's existing.
This is
Of residing.
I said residing here.
Yeah.
I guess yeah, you can say starting residing and stopping.
Good.
No, it's not or. There's a ladun. It's not. It's saying things don't start by any nature of their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the previous section.
No,
Yeah,
right
right.
here. Rang
So-
Shingi ne Parkepa Mayin. Things do not start by any nature of their own. Either
I see what you're saying. Nepar. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, totally. Nepar Kepa. It's one phrase. Totally.
Wrong.
Mhm.
They're not staying. It's not staying or starting. Yeah, they're not starting to they're not starting to exist or something like that. I'm just going to take that out. Starting their residency.
That's right. Certain.
Uh,
they're
yeah.
becoming doctors.
I'm just going to say their existence for a placeholder for the moment, but that's a good catch. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah.
Through any self nature, neither their own. Because if we think, you're coming from the root text, and meaning examine whether or not moments have parts like that. Sorry, let's go back to the chat. Keiichi Shindu, like that. Cha ye mei, whether or not parts like that to moments. Tak Ching Sampa, if we think about it and examine,
Yeah.
that's what the J, if we do that, Jna.
Mhm.
Tokmadang Udang Tamani Sum. These very moments, these three very moments, Chadang Chepe Cheer, because they have their own parts.
Yeah.
And that they each have their own beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
Tama.
Yeah.
So I think that he's saying, let's consider the moments that we were just talking about, the beginning, middle, and end. Each of those, because then he says sum. Oh, sorry. He's saying each of those has their own three. So I feel like he's not making the point until here. That's why I don't think he's making the point up here.
Oh, that's okay. Even if he's referring to the parts of a moment and saying the parts have parts, I don't see that changes his point at all.
Yeah, I know, because I think when we started this, you were saying,
I still do think, yeah, I still think that may mean, yeah, consider the parts of this. Yeah, I think it still may be the beginning of this moment, the middle of this moment, the end of that moment. When we examine each of those, we see that they each have a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. That could
Gosh,
work exactly.
then how can a beginning have the nature of being a beginning if it has a beginning, middle, and end?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the
That
argument.
Yes.
Gautam J is helping us to raise.
Yeah, just so.
Yeah. But he completely flipped that cha into a different meaning with that S on the end now.
He does that all the time to Nagarjuna.
Yeah, now it means something like very different.
Philosophical question.
Nagarjuna is saying,
Friends.
think about it. And he's like, yeah, if we think about it.
Because now it can mean something like, it could even be made of chena.
Oh.
Does the fact that a beginning has a beginning, middle, and end contradict it being a beginning for you? Do you get that sense?
Me
I don't know if
personally?
I do. Yeah, I mean, is that the proof? Is it
The
absurd
proof
to
is that
think
it's
that
not
something is a beginning?
I think that he's trying to prove that it doesn't have a nature of being a beginning because it's based on parts. And its parts are a beginning, middle, and end. So it doesn't have this nature of just being a beginning the way that we think it does.
Then,
I mean, it's very Nagarjuna, right? Like Nagarjuna is like, you look at this and you think it is a beginning, like really, like you think it has this nature of being like, I'm a beginning. But if you look at it, if you think about it,
Uh-huh.
it has its own beginning, middle, and end. It's made of parts. It doesn't have a nature of being a beginning. It's just another moment that has its own parts. Then you designate it as a beginning. But if you think about it, it's not. There's nothing more beginningy about it than
And if in fact
the
if
moment
that
that you were dividing in the first place.
yeah, and in fact if that thing that you're calling a beginning is made of a beginning and a middle and an end, then what's so beginning about it? If it is
Yeah,
just as equally made of beginning as it is of middle as it is of end, then
And
why
then
would
what?
beginning and middle and end add to make beginning?
And
yeah,
then what do any of the three of them even mean?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
This is like
Yeah.
Nagarjuna's favorite thing to do. So Gyaltsabje is just he's like Nagarjuna's assistant here.
Yeah.
But
Right.
yeah,
Not to mention, yeah, go ahead.
but as soon as the beginning has a beginning, then this first beginning is a middle.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but the beginning of the beginning is the real beginning. That one is beginning-ish.
Nah, Sumgicha.
Oh, okay, good point.
And couldn't the beginning be the end of a previous moment, depending on how you slice it, or the
Oh
middle
man,
of another?
we didn't go there in this discussion, but isn't it true?
Sure. Cool.
Delta J,
Okay.
you didn't want to bust our brains any more than that. But yeah, I see what you mean. It could be, let's consider, this moment, or a moment or whatever, kind of whichever way you slice it, that the paragraph has the same meaning.
I just yeah, I don't know. I guess day can be plural. So
No,
it's fine.
yeah,
Maybe it's ambiguous, but it isn't as commonly plural.
no, you're right. It isn't. I agree. And I tend to do that more readily. I tend to take more liberties with those days than I probably should. So it's a good
How dare
learning
you?
for me. No, seriously, it is good for me to kind of maybe think about.
I think it's right though. It's like consider any and all moments. Consider moment.
Yeah. That's what I think the point is.
I think so.
Uh, okay. So it's interesting. I think it's cool. Again, Nagarjuna is showing us that Gyaltsabje is showing us that Nagarjuna is showing us that the thing isn't what we thought it was. And that we call it, we designate it. I love that word for some reason about this stuff. We designate it a beginning, but it's just another moment with a beginning, middle, and end.
Uh,
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 Oscar is asking in the chat if the ni could mean always.
let's see. Tamani. I suppose I here like it to mean their own. Uh, they each have their own three parts because I feel like that's kind of the point. Let's see if I didn't even mess with it in the root text. I did. That's where I took the knee. And so maybe you're right, Oscar, because I took the knee from this third line and I moved it up to the second line because I figured, because to me it made sense even when reading the Tibetan here, that's what it's saying. Like think of beginning, middle, and end, each being like a moment of its own. Tokma udang tamani. Like it seems like it's saying beginning, middle, and uh each of these or each one itself uh isn't in its own nature. Can you see where I made the leap to say its own? Like they're saying, because each of these itself, each of these on its own doesn't
Yeah.
reside in nature. I don't see the always, but that doesn't,
Like,
I also think there's a good chance you're seeing something I'm not seeing, Oscar.
like by itself then becomes its own because it's just those for it.
Yeah, that's how I'm thinking of it.
Yeah, it's not bad. I like it.
Cool.
Yeah. I feel like that's what Geshe Michael would do, but we'll see.
Yeah.
He does stuff like that. I mean, he wouldn't be shy to move a knee to a different place to make it fit English construction.
Not at all.
Okay. But moving on, or anybody else would like to
Another
raise
thing
a
about that knee. No, please move on.
There are knights who say it. Uh,
Me, me, me.
uh, but for all you Monty Python fans.
Thank you, Nick.
Uh, okay. So here we go. Now we're back to those pesky Vaishnavites. Maybe. Let's see. Who can read here? Is Dodo here?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Would you read this? Just the Tibetan. You don't need to read the English note.
Yes. Hidaki ni kyapche. Ngubo chame gane. Rangxin ki juba gopa ino.
Nice. So I think because of Geshe Michael's note saying that he believes that this applies to Kyamju, who is Vishnu, which was mentioned just before. It looks like then this is saying Gokpa. This refutes the idea that Rangxin Ki Drupa through his own nature. Okay, so I won't do it backwards. This refutes Gokpa. Didagi means by this, right? That what we just said then. Gokpa refutes Kyabje, which seems to mean Vishnu here. Ngopo cha me. So this also means refutes. So this refutes that he is a partless, changing entity. For some reason, I said I included changing. I don't know if I needed to. For within Ngopo, you could translate Ngopo as just thing or functioning thing. I chose to put changing for some reason. It's funny when I question what I was thinking. Thereby, Kakne, from denying that, thereby denies that he's Rangshingi Drupa, that he could exist through any nature of his own. I felt okay to say he because I think Vishnu is usually presented as a male.
Yeah.
Yeah, though you can see the argument for the other possibility, which is tempting to say that we're denying the nature of a moment which includes Kyabje, that beginning, middle, and end in a way that is partless and changing.
Yeah.
And it could be both.
Wouldn't that be cute?
Yeah.
I have like some confusion about it because it does seem like that they're coming back to Vishnu out of nowhere.
Yep.
I mean, it was not too long ago that we were discussing whether or not he's a changing being. Because so I have a little bit of prejudice because we go through these sections so slowly. I can't even really fathom how far back that was in the text.
It is the end of the section, so it seems to be the wrap up.
Yeah, and I think
therefore this proves blah blah blah.
This is something I would be tempted to footnote. It's I think a nice example of a time where you can't perfectly translate this without making a choice. And I suspect the author, as Utpala said, is very likely doing both.
That's interesting. you guys.
or,
I'm
or at
gonna,
least
I'm
giving a
gonna,
nod to both, whichever one is intended, it too neatly points to the argument he just had, and at the same time points to an argument about a being that's been going on in a greater context here. It's too tidy to not be suspicious, in my opinion.
And if the purpose or like beginning of this whole argument that started however many pages ago began with talking about Vishnu, and this does like wrap up, like here's why,
Yeah, I like it. It is a possible footnote. That's a great idea. Okay, now it's going to get fun. Do we have some time left? Yeah.
Finally.
Not that
We're
wasn't
having
fun.
fun already.
Yeah, that was super fun. It's gonna get super fun.
Funner.
Here is the third section. A denial that things could exist through any nature of their own, using the reasoning that things are neither one nor many.
Yay.
Yeah. And it says cheek tongue to draw, so we can just say using the reasoning of one or many. I think Geshe Michael fluctuates between these names, maybe mood dependent. We got some root text. This first verse, I feel like I did pretty well. The second one is not at all fleshed out. So let's look at this one real quick. Let's see. Okay, here, Dodo, do you want to read again? That was too short for you.
Okay.
Thanks.
타대 촉체 찍부미 촉매바니 가양매 찍매바니 투마앙매 유바매치 매방매.
Nice. Somebody replaced Gibson and Dodo with like Geshe's from Sarah or something. There we go. Because of different parts. Tade Chot cheer because of different parts. Chikbumin, it's not one. Chok mepa ni gayang me, something with no parts doesn't exist at all. Chikme par ni dumang me. Without one, chikme, dumang me. There's also no many. There's probably a more elegant way to say that in English. But that's
fine.
Yipame, or if it's not there, cheer. Sometimes I like to say for if it's not there. Mepang me, its absence is also not there.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, we got to look at the commentary.
There's no apostrophe there. With Chik Me Par.
Oh, its absence, right? Thank you very much.
What is the Ratak doing on the Chik Me Par?
Let's see, Chik Me Par ni. Yeah, and then it has a ni after it, so it's even weirder than that. Chik Me Par ni. I feel like I don't
easily.
I feel like I've seen this before, where they put a ni after a ladin, and I don't know.
It could be for meter, but it's weird because then he put a ma'ang together for not meter.
Right. Chikmepar. It could also be. It could be that chikmepar is a way that makes sense in their language. To say like without one, like absence of onely. Like.
Yeah.
It could make sense to be adverbial in Tibetan.
It could be. No, I think it's okay as with
and we just don't do that in English from this particular context. I think that's what it is.
Thank you.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, let's see if my guess has any bearing or any. Let's skip this one because I don't know what the heck. Yeah, I didn't get that far.
Great. That's fine. Let's come back to them after we've read
Yeah.
commentary.
Sukchen. Oh, let's ask somebody else to read. I was trying to rush. Let's see. Venerable Kading, would you like to read? You always do such a great job.
Oh, thank you. Sukchengi nyopo chuchen, chikpuni du den paminte, chokta de tang chepechu.
Nice. Sukchen gi ngopachuchen. I'm thinking Sukchen here is physical thing. I'm open to your interpretations.
It works.
Sure.
Sukchen Kingopo. So I took the whole thing here, Sukchen Kingopo, but I guess should probably expand upon it. Now that I've gone through the rest of it and I see that he's not saying Sukchen Kingopo every time, maybe it's like consider a thing which is physical or consider a functioning thing which is physical.
Well, how far did you go I mean, he could be going through the three different types of changing things too. I mean, he could just be starting with thing.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. I don't think so. I think he stops before that, but it's a good point. It's a really good point.
I mean, yeah, because physical thing, I mean, obviously changing things aren't, I mean, even unchanging things don't necessarily have not have parts. So yeah.
Okay, well,
yeah,
it's a really good point. Let's see. I can't even might remember because I've been up since 5 with my tie on the whole time.
I'm sorry.
Because I was working. Yeah, not because I like to wear a tie at 5 in the morning. Consider a physical thing is not true. Sorry. Chikbunyi du dempa min te. Chok tale dam chipachir. It is not truly one thing. Okay, it is not dudempa truly. Chikbunyi, one thing. Chok tale dam chip.
Do you feel you captured the ni or
yeah, like I don't know. I just feel like it's making the dudempa stronger, but I'm open to a nice way
I might
to
just be tempted to say it's not truly just one thing.
Well, I like it. I love it.
It can't make the Dudempa stronger because it's before. I think Ben's right.
Yeah. No, I love it. So I guess in my abstract way of thinking, that still makes it stronger. But yeah, I know you're much more precise word for sure. It is not truly.
I think you have to say in truth. I mean, you don't have to do anything, but in truth, truly would be.
Yeah,
I like truly.
I wrote that at first, but then I felt like I was writing that, and it felt like that's not really how we speak English, and that just sounds like, I don't know. It sounds more like writing a foreign language in English.
Why do you say in? There's not a Ladun particle in that the Ladun particle goes right is on its left, not on its right.
No, if there was a Ladun, it'd be Dampar, which would be truly it would make it adverbial. Yeah.
So why do you say?
Because it's just an English way. Because it's an English convention. It's not really like a preposition in that case. Denpa wouldn't. You can't say in English doesn't exist truth. You have to put it in there.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I was just trying to be Geshe Michaelian about it and like rearrange it to sound like more flowing English.
It could be, honestly.
I agree. So in these cases where I don't think it changes the meaning, a bit.
Yeah.
I think I tend to opt for what sounds more like natural native English.
I like it.
To say exist in truth is something that to me sounds like a translator that's not a mixed nut. Now, that doesn't mean it's the case. That's just how I was feeling in that moment.
I mean, isn't Dembar, right? With the ladun very literally in truth, like the ladun particle is the in, right? You like it is almost like the locative, and then from the locative, something being in truth is what we interpret as an adverb to say
Yeah.
truly.
It
It
could be.
depends if you interpret it as Dani case or not.
Oh, as true.
Could be as
Uh-huh.
too.
This is why I wonder if this West Chinese language always had those three different declensions, those three different noun uses that we call three different cases, or if Sanskrit got squished into it
I see.
later on. I wonder.
Oh.
For those of you who don't know the word declension, it's a word in English that we use to refer to these case marking particles.
Sure. I tried to gloss it with noun usages.
Yeah, that's cool. That helps.
Noun cases.
Yeah.
Right.
Noun cases.
Yeah,
Wow. That's what it is. Yeah.
declension shows the relationship that a noun has to the rest of the sentence.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. This is why you come to the mixed nuts.
This is not. It's for camaraderie and our witty repartee.
Okay, just a few minutes left.
Introducing our fourth language.
Right.
Repartee.
Hasso, are you here? You want to read this next one?
Okay. Takma drupe kyong mete. Sukchen chok me pani. Kayang me pei chiro.
Nice. So, and there is no problem. Chinmei te. There is no problem. If you say that the reason doesn't apply, there is no if you say, but Geshe Michael commonly throws that in these situations. And I agree that it makes it much more clear. And there is no problem if you say that the reason doesn't apply. Tak madru. Because cheer, a partless physical thing, chok mepa, sukchen chok mepa, so physical thing, partless, doesn't exist at all. Gayang me. It's pretty good, right?
Okay.
And so Adam, so here he just says sukchen.
Yeah.
So I mean, doesn't it, and he does, I think, for the rest of the section. So does it seem like he was just being general in the first place, or
Physicality even?
heartless physical thing? Yeah, but then he's, maybe physicality as opposed to what he said before, sukchen ngopo.
I think if you wanted to, you could say a working physical thing earlier, and now you can say physical thing because
just to catch thing
physical
up.
things, yeah. Right, you could because physical thing, or yeah, I don't know.
And you could both because the thing in physical thing is the nopo.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I know. But physicality doesn't, because to say partless physicality is getting so abstract.
No, it is. It is, but sukchen could literally be physicality, is all I'm saying.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I'm not saying it applies, but
case, yeah. Dumar den no shena. Well, does many truly exist? You may wonder.
I think it's can a thing truly be many?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hmm.
But he said this. I mean, like, maybe there's a translation somewhere in between.
I think it's just terse language. I don't think that it's a question of whether the phenomena of manyness truly exists, but
That's
whether a
for
thing
sure.
can truly exist as multiple.
There's the R
And
too. The R could be Danny grammar case.
yeah,
Can
Danny,
it
right.
can it truly be many?
I suspect, and I think you have the same problem in the English. I don't know if this is true, okay, that the author may be avoiding what we might want to avoid. You see, even just saying it, you've
I
already
know.
stated as a
Yeah, exactly.
singular.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't think it's I don't think it's it here.
Yeah, totally. Can
Duma,
something?
it's definitely the subject of that sentence.
I think
Yeah.
you should just put many question mark.
Not even.
That's cool.
I
I
think
like
you
that.
were right. I think
That's
you were
very
right.
Nagarjunian. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to what I had until ah,
You may ask, does many exist?
um
Or do many exist?
and actually there's so many of these that I come up with that this is probably incorrect, right, Utpala? Well, does many truly exist? Would you put the question mark here or just nowhere? Where
No,
do you put
because
it?
you're stating someone may wonder. That's not a question.
Right. So then does there a question mark go here? Like, and you put it in quotes, or is there a
Any
correct way
quotes
to?
at that point?
I
think any
would flip
quotes
it around is what I would do as an editor. You may ask, because then
Uh-huh.
the question mark is in the right place and it doesn't look bizarre.
Okay, well, it still doesn't change. Is there a correct way to write it this way? We could discuss this offline, but I do want to know.
quote, well, does many truly exist?
It would have to be
Question
quotes.
mark, comma.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
this is why we have editors, so you can like arrange things so that it's not like awkward and you don't have different punctuation marks
This is
clobbering
still
each other as they try to exist.
Let's
it's
see.
it's
Correct.
neither illegal nor pleasant.
Right. There's nothing illegal.
I'm trying to put the upside down question mark. There we go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, much better.
Not now,
Oh,
it makes sense.
I got it.
that's
I got it.
great.
I got it.
Way better.
Bringing our fifth language in.
Aldo just got happy.
I feel like you're missing some sort of an emoji.
No, I put my
Raised
foot down
eyebrow.
on that one.
For those of you who have kids, this is actually Maui's hook. So,
Uh-huh.
all right. Well, that's all we have time for today. Oh, wait, we have time for a discussion about this.
Good.
Yeah.
I thought I was off the hook.
Hey.
Fine.
I really did.
Waka waka.
Okay, cool. We'll come back to this later. I still want to know how to do this correctly. I'll have to download a scan and then have input the Chicago Manual of Style.
Well, you can text me. I think you know my number.
I'll text you. I had like 5 of these questions, so I'll text them to you. I didn't want to bug you with them, but I will anyway, now that you said publicly that I can.
You can directly text the Verde Valley Manual of Style.
I want to know too.
Yeah. Yeah, let's put lots of them. Now you're really wondering. All right. Is there a time when multiple question marks is allowed for emphasis? Another question. All right. So how do I can tell that some of us have thought many times, at least one time, maybe many times, about how to use this to help us in our lives. Adam appears to have a monolith behind him.
Yeah.
So we're due for a breakthrough.
Yeah, that's how I do my thinking. I go up and touch it, and then
There's a monolith. Is it one? or Can a monolith be many? It seems like it's made of parts.
A
And
polylith?
Wouldn't it be a
would a,
polymyth?
would a part of the monolith be its own monolith?
Is it
I'm
tied
sorry,
edge?
translators, if you do not
Uh,
know the word monolith. It's understandable if you don't. It's from, I don't know. I don't even know how to.
2000
Yeah.
Space Odyssey. Yeah. I just had in the beginning when we were talking about something existing in its own nature, right? And that kind of popped out to me is being kind of the main part of the discussion. It's like kind of where everything filters from, right? I mean, that's where we're all ultimately leading. Like all those streams ultimately lead into that one river. That's
Cool. Yeah, that's a really awesome point because to me the beauty of Nagarjuna in general, and I think we've talked about this, Adam, is just that how much he's just constantly being like, it's simple. Like the problem is simple. You think that it is the thing. Like this is how you think the thing is the thing, and
Yeah.
here it's not. And also the way that you think
I think
shows us that the
I
thing is
think
not.
sorry. I think for me, we were kind of talking about it. We were saying, oh, well, there is no beginning, but there actually is a beginning. It's just that we label it that it's not that
Yeah.
it doesn't, it's not that the beginning doesn't exist. It's that we think
Yeah.
about it right? That it doesn't exist in any nature from its own. And I think the reason I'm saying is because sorry. Yeah. The reason that I'm saying that is because we take that from that first argument into the next argument, which appears to be a huge section where we're talking about one or many. And it's not that one doesn't exist, and it's not that many doesn't exist. It's that they don't exist from their own side, and that any object doesn't exist as either or, right? But it could
and this
also
is,
both.
building on that, Adam, what I always have to remind myself when we get into this peculiar space, this odd space of undermining our belief in a true nature to things out there that exists without me thinking of the world in a certain way, is the idea that things are stuck, that all of our hopes and dreams are, I don't know, what do we say, a crapshoot, a roll of the dice. If we have to count on the world to just offer of its own true nature the things that we want, but if all of reality is dependent upon our thinking, then there's hope for change. You know that your mind is very changeable. You know that your practice changes you. So if reality is formed out there just the way it is, that's scary. Then we're stuck. Then it's hard to know whether or not the actions we take are going to work out, because it'll depend on the real nature underneath things that's so hard to find. But if reality is what it is because of the way that our minds are assembling things, you know that can change. You know that repetitive practice, thinking about the world in a beautiful way, seeing the world around you changes the more you practice just noticing the beautiful qualities of your friends. Your mind becomes more practiced at seeing beauty, and the world looks more beautiful to you. And then it is for you a more beautiful place by virtue of the only nature that it has, which is not a true nature. It's the way your mind puts reality together. And so it's very hopeful when Nagarjuna takes away our assumption about a true nature that would prevent our practice from bringing us to a paradise. It's not there. It's not there. We can all be in that place together very soon by nothing other than the power of our practice together.
I thought
Because
you were
our
going to say.
minds do change.
I thought you were going to say by 8 o'clock tonight.
Great.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't
Double your
rule it out.
productivity. I'm expecting enlightenment by the end of the first quarter. But I was just gonna share along the lines of what you're saying, and especially talking about practice and the fruits. Like I think that there's a moment where it feels like, I mean, maybe because of the good seeds that we've planted by, learning about the nature of reality and studying and just being nice to people. I've had these feelings in my own life where I feel like I have a choice, or I have this awareness all of a sudden that my mind, for example, or my fear in my mind is changeable or eradicatable. and and that I feel like I have this moment of awareness where I'm just like, wait a minute, like I'm holding on to nothing, like, I can just let this go right now. And I've had that experience where I feel like I can decide because of my understanding about, I'm sure we've all had this to some extent. I can just decide to let go. And then my state of being elevated, immensely for like years, uh, and that's amazing, and it feels like you're making a decision. So you find a lot of like life coaches or people who are say, you just have to make the choice. You just have to make the choice to like live your life this way or whatever. And I would say like, they're not wrong, but the ability to make that choice isn't there most of the time for most people, and it's like, I think that's where the ideas of seeds are even more powerful, or why that's like a deeper level of coaching. It's like, yeah, but we always want to make that choice. We always want to make the choice to let go of our insecurity, of our fear, of whatever problems holding us down. But if we have the grace to be able to do it, there is some like deeper cause there, and that's.
I remember Geshe Michael saying once that if someone yells at you and you're about to yell back, and you start to almost catch yourself for a moment, and then you yell back anyway, that pause, that little moment where you almost didn't yell back is a stab in the heart of the momentum of the suffering universe. And that made me feel so good that it's okay. And even if you yell at somebody today and then a week later you think maybe I shouldn't have done that, then maybe it's one step closer to thinking the next day I shouldn't have done that, which is one step closer to an hour later thinking I shouldn't have done that, which is one step closer to that hang time, that moment before you yell back, and then you yell back anyway. And so take it easy, everybody. I mean, I think it's nice. I just found it so reassuring. Be gentle with yourself. You're fighting the momentum of beginningless time. And so any little thought you have of, oh, wouldn't it be nice if I thought a different way, is already miraculous and powerful. Be encouraged. And I think that the power of being glad that you had some tiny little breakthrough adds momentum to that. That's your coffee meditation, right? The tiny wins. Be happy about the tiny wins. We need all the encouragement. I need all the encouragement I can get. Please.
And then the hard part, it seems to me, is dancing between that and there is so much suffering that I perceive that's going on. I can't stand it. I must end it because it's all based on a simple mistake. And I gotta get this. I gotta end this.
Yeah.
Pei Ling, did you want to also add something? I saw your hand was up.
Yes. Thank you, Ben. Oh, so nervous. I think, yes, this is difficult things because it is against our own nature. We are doing something that against our own nature. Agree? And then I have some thoughts that I would like to share that how we manage this goal. This goal, one thing, this goal that we say the highest spiritual goal, this goal is not a tangible thing. So it become very difficult to measure. It's not a measurable things. So we have to do something like what I can think of is we can cut this goal to a small part so we can measure it. For example, the 6 times book is a very good tool that we cut this goal to a small part so it become measurable, you know. And then one thing we should understand that this goal might not achieve in this lifetime. Of course, we hope that everyone at here we achieve in this lifetime, but it doesn't mean it will happen. So it will carry a few lifetime. So you become not so tension with what you are doing. You manage your mind stream and your emotion, have self-compassion to yourself. Then you will go through this path nicely, easily, and most importantly, you're not easy to give up. Sometimes if you set a very difficult goal and you feel unattainable, you easily, fail, I don't want to do. No. We try to cut it down to a measurable things so it become easy for us to do.
And
if you
Pei-Ling,
tangible goal is easy. If you manage an intangible thing, is much more difficult. Yes, Ben.
You're absolutely right, and I think that you built on what I was trying to say in a way that pointed out something very important to me when we talk about the momentum of the universe, and in a sense, like we're working against our own nature. And this is what this book is for, is to talk us out of thinking that way. And I just heard it as you said it, that I was that we can have this tendency to give more nature, an idea of more nature, to what we're working against. And this book is trying to talk us out of thinking that nature is real, that momentum is real. That's exactly what gets scary. How can I work against my own nature? And this is why Nagarjuna, through the vehicle of Nick, is so desperately trying to talk us out of believing that there is a real nature that started and goes on over time. It's a trick. It's a trick of the mind. And if you can see through it, then yeah, it could change. Like Nick said, by 8 o'clock tonight, or maybe it was Adam.
I was giving a year to the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'll take it.
And
we are over time now, so I want to leave it there because just to respect the schedule. Thank you, Pei-Ling. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Upala, and thank you all the rest of the team and friends who have been contributing to this class and discussion. It was really wonderful. I had a lot of fun. I like talking about one or many and all that other good stuff. So that's it for today for Mixed Nuts. But stick around for the Peachtree World News with Dr. Juan Hasso. Looking good, Hasso.
Thanks, Nick. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Adam and Ward and Utpala and all of you who make this possible. But also, most especially, thank you to all of you who make the time to come to these programs, to have interest in learning this content, in learning this ancient language, and then put it back into practice in your own personal lives, test it out. I think it's wonderful to give ourselves the chance to do that and try to change our reality with our practice, as Ben was talking about. So thank you really all of you just for being here, just for being awesome, for really giving yourselves time to do something, to keep growing in your own best version of yourself, if that makes sense. So let's start with what happened, the important things that happened. I'm gonna be sharing my screen today. So here we go. Okay, the important things that happened yesterday. Oh, yes. The Dodgers beat the New York Yankees 6-3. And there are 6 more games to go to see who wins the World Series. Now, you may be wondering, why are we talking about this? Why Geshe Michael sometimes talks about this? Why Ken Rinpoche used to talk about these things? And we want to hear what you have to say. So remember, we were collecting some testimonials for the Good Night Book Club practitioners, right? So the invitation this time is, if sometimes you have wondered why, for example, Geshe Michael or other very advanced practitioners talk about very seemingly ordinary things and can find great and deep teachings by doing so, share with us what are your thoughts. Maybe send a 30-second video, 1-minute video on what do you think Geshe Michael could often be mentioning things about, like football games, baseball games. What do you think? Somebody asked the other day, Geshe Michael, why do you think Ken Rinpoche was so into the baseball? He gave an answer, but I'm not going to tell the answer yet. We would like to hear from you. What's your take? These videos, then we're going to edit and share with all of you, and also keep inviting you to, if you have tried the Good Night Book Club, send us the videos about how it has changed your life. So let's keep moving with other news. Last Monday, we had a very cool talk with Salvina. She's about to start like an introductory course on how to use the overall principles of this system for all of these people, especially that may be beginners, that may be interested in understanding what is the system about. This is a very, very good opportunity to take this course. Mostly this course is going to be taught in Chinese language. So if you happen to speak Chinese or have people who know people who happen to speak Chinese who may be interested, people who may wonder, what are you trying to practice? What is that you are into? This is a great introductory course that you can invite them to. It's going to be running for 1 month and a half, and you can find more information following the QR codes. As far as I understand, it's Telegram and also WeChat. The course is going to talk about all the principles and basic tools that you can start using to improve and transform your life. Okay, different news. We are also celebrating that the team in Mexico, the teachers in Mexico, just finished with the follow-up program. After Geshe Michael visited Mexico City, he taught wonderful, wonderful classes. Then the Mexican teachers organized a follow-up program who lasted for 2 months, every other week, giving talks about reviewing the content that Geshe Michael taught in Mexico City. And this last Wednesday was the end of it. It was a great success. Many, many people happy, many, many people attend. And just wanting to share as a quick review, one of the main ideas Geshe Michael taught us there is the importance of exposing our minds to big and difficult ideas who's going to make us expand. And not only that, but also planting the seeds for developing big creativity. And this big creativity is going to be very important to solve complex problems. And not only that, but to improve our productivity. So in those lines, we want to keep inviting.
Hey, Ron, I'm sorry, your PowerPoint presentation seems to be a little off. So we're only seeing the one screen, and it seems like you're on different slides.
What do you mean? You don't see the Xuanzang Tower?
We see the program PowerPoint, which is showing the first slide. And we saw you click the slideshow button, but we're not seeing the slideshow itself.
I don't know what to do. Let me see. Maybe all that I have been saying is just blah, blah, not pictures?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Not blah, blah. You can see
it's great, Juan. It wasn't just blah, blah.
Okay.
Highest quality pictureless blah, blah.
Nice. So you don't see the picture.
Now we did there for a second, and now
we did for a second one. Yeah, we saw the picture of me and on stage. I think was it?
Yeah. Okay. So quick review. This is when the baseball team beat the other baseball team. This is the QR code, so you can send your videos about why do you think great teachers use this kind of events for teaching. Now you're seeing the pictures?
Yes, we are seeing the pictures.
Oh, great. Okay, so this is Albina's event. If you're interested in the introductory course she's going to teach, November to December 31st. This is the celebration that the Mexican teachers finish the follow-up. And this is the picture that reminds us the benefits of coming to these kind of classes, which improve our creativity and our productivity, actually. One thing that I wanted to share regards this picture is that for me, it was unclear at some point when Geshe Michael said you have to expose your mind to difficult classes or difficult content. I didn't know if he meant difficult content related to these kind of teachings or difficult content, no matter what it is. My suspicion, it was both, but now it seems more clear to me that he was specifically talking about these classes, these mixed notes classes, because I have here other classes further. He keeps talking about it that have clarified to me. So in that sense, here's the QR code. If you want to take a picture, or if you ever want to invite people who may want to come to these classes, just as a reminder that they are happening every Monday, every Saturday. If you are in Asia, it's Tuesday. And we are very happy because we reached the first anniversary on the Xuanzang Tower program. It's wonderful. I want to congratulate all of the translators, but also all to the workers and volunteers that make this possible. And of course, thank you so much, Geshe Michael, for making this possible. It's very funny. I remember like a few years ago when the translation classes were happening on big terms, and we used to meet all together and go along for 2 weeks, wake up like 5 a.m, crazy adventures. And it's wonderful to see how this has been evolving. And I'm excited to see where it's coming later in the next few years, maybe in surfing, 2-week retreats in Hawaii or something. We'll see if we can convince Nick and Ben to make it happen. I'm going to keep pushing and see where it goes. But in that sense, I want to share that the DCI Global Advanced Level 4 is happening these days at the Sedona College. Many teachers getting their certification there, starting the courses. And I hear also one of the emphasis on developing the creativity is what I just shared. Keep coming to these classes, keep learning big ideas. They are like tools that are going to allow you to come up with new ways to twist reality, to adjust the outer and inner world to make your goals come true. So just extending the invitation. And soon we will be having the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. Get ready if you're planning to attend live. If you are not planning to attend live, but you want to do it online, there is still a big opportunity to sign up. This chapter is going to be a lot talking about deeper and very meaningful partnerships in the sense of, well, different kind of partnerships, but as far as I understand, how to develop these deep partnerships to work together at many different levels to reach the highest goals and use these highest goals to serve the whole world. So it's going to be very, very precious information. Geshe Michael just finished translating new parts of the text that have never been taught in this audience. So don't miss the opportunity. And in these lines, next Wednesday, Professors John Brady and Connie are going to be sharing a talk about some information on how to apply these principles in your own deep relationships, if you have them. If not, how to develop them, how to have them, and also what to go and sharing information on how this chapter 4 is going to be about. So this next Wednesday, this says New York time, right? 9 o'clock, but really is 7 a.m. in Arizona time, as far as I understand, 3 hours before, right? So actually then it's gonna be 6 a.m. Arizona time, if that makes sense. As far as I understand, is New York is 3 hours later than Arizona. You can register and get to hear more information about the chapter 4 upcoming in November 14. And also this, at the end of this next week, just to share that Cerrone and David Stump, they are having a great retreat in Spain. It's going to go from the 31st of October to the November the 10th. We are excited to hear how it went, how it's going. So if any of the people who is attending want to share some videos once you're there or after you're there, they will be greatly appreciated. Send your regards, and we will try to cover and share how this retreat is going in Spain. And also, Sarani Stump has an event in Mexico in January 3rd. Roxana Sink is one of the organizers. You can talk to her. She lives in Mexico, in Hermosillo, Sonora. Roxana, I mean. If you are interested to attend to this Mexico City event, it's in a beautiful, beautiful house in the forest. Talk to her, follow the QR code. You may still have a chance to attend. And just finally, of course, at the end of this year, December 1 to the 7th, we're going to be having this wonderful event in Japan. For this event, it was, I guess, in a way, it was a great, great success. It booked all so quickly. Maybe there's a few chances to still go, but for that, you're going to have to talk with the organizers team, with the team that is producing these steps on the path. For that will be mostly Tim Lowenhop and Alejazo, other people too, but you can reach out to them both and see what options are there, because right now they are looking for people who's willing to stay at the hotel, which is going to be much more fun, I bet. And not only that, but they are also looking for business sponsors who may want to advertise their business or their projects during this event, who could, you know, be part of this production in one or the other way. So just try to reach to them if you're still interested in going. Don't give up yet. There is more chances to go. Just reach out to them and they will start the conversation on how to make it possible. And just finally, to close and finish for this weekend, a reminder that Team Lowenhop is on constant basis every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Arizona time, taking people through the Steps on the Path textbook and using it also as an opportunity to do two things mostly: learn the content, but also learn how to translate the ancient Western Chinese language that we are learning in this Mixed Notes program. And at the same time, as I say, learning the content of it. So it's like a mix, like a translation class, but also a content class. He's doing every week, Wednesdays, 8 to 9 a.m. Arizona time. And that's it for today. Finally, I will just like to extend an invitation. If you have events, if you have plans, if you have projects that you would like to share with the worldview audience, please don't hesitate and reach out to us. You can send us an email if you want to schedule a spot. You can also follow our social media. And this is also an invitation. If you ever have ideas or you're interested in helping us, we need definitely help, especially with social media. We need help with people who know how to operate a website or wants to learn to operate a website, people who can catch up with the YouTube, uploading videos, organizing them, people who want to work with social media like Instagram or TikTok or other things. So we could really, really use your help if you are interested about it. Reach out to us. And that's it for this weekend. We want to wish Geshe Michael a very successful trip to San Diego. Best wishes. Please stay with us, keep teaching us, keep helping us. And thank you so much for all that you have done and keep doing for us. So that's all for today. Thank you very much. See you, if everything goes well, on Monday. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Juan,
Thank you,
can
Juan.
I ask a question? Sorry.
Yes, who's this?
Octavian here.
Octavian.
I was curious about the new DCI advanced level. What does AI from Daily Wisdom AI stands for? Ancient Wisdom?
Daily Wisdom?
Yeah, double your productivity with the Daily Wisdom AI.
Gotta come to the
AI
event.
is
You gotta come to the
artificial
event, Octavian,
intelligence
to find out.
because I need to know how to better promote this level in our country.
Honestly, I'm not sure. I don't understand quite the question. Do you mean what is the meaning of deeper wisdom?
Daily Wisdom AI. You had it in your PowerPoint.
Yeah, in the poster. And you want to understand what is the meaning of daily wisdom?
It might be good
AI.
to talk with Seiji.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Number one, I wanted to understand your question. And number two, what I was going to say is what Utpala say. I'm going to try to do deeper research and then reach out to you to answer the question because I really don't know.
Sure.
But yeah, Seiji for sure is a good person to talk about this.
Great. Thanks, man.
All right. So thank you and best regards. Good to see you, Octavian. Hope sometime you can come to Arizona. See you then, if everything goes well, on Monday. Bye.